Good evening to the populace of the East and abroad. Herein opens the final ethereal court of their Majesties Alberic and Tindal, Consules of the East. Your Majesties.
Good evening. Yes, a slightly different day of the week, but welcome back to the ethereal palace, as it were. We filled the entire calendar. This is the 12th of these. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is all elevations tonight.
The grand special of elevations just for you.
And then, of course, in 2 days,
We'll stepping down,
and our fantastic heirs will replace us. And on that note, I believe our Kingdom Seneschal has some fantastic words. Safety first. Safety first. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Majesties. Good evening, populace of the East. On the eve of my most treasured events, coronation of the crown, excitement and anticipation and eagerness to share the community are high. The coronation of Ionis and Rohode brings the kingdom one step closer to our established traditions, and yet must remain diligent in our individual and our collective safety measures. If you feel at all, please hold on Saturday or for any other event on your upcoming agenda so that we can all enjoy and be safe at the events that we have worked so hard to protect. And if you're coming to site, please be chivalrous in your wearing of masks. If you are generally minded by event staff, just put that mask back up so that they can do their jobs with less friction. All of us working together will see this through to the end of these meetings.
Their Majesties would call before them Rosina von Schaffhausen to answer the question before her.
Oye! Comes now into this court Rosina von Schaffhausen, threadwright, crafter of elegant braids from the supplest silks, student and teacher of the quadrivium, follower of Fibonacci, companion of Cardano. She comes before you now, invited by their Majesties to consider elevation to their august order of the laurel.
I believe, Rosina, you need to come before us free of any bonds or obligations.
Their Majesties invite into their court Master Peregrine the Illuminator.
Rosina, you have been my apprentice now for many years, and I have learned a great deal from you in that time. I feel that not as my apprentice, but as the master geometer that I feel that you are. And so I would ask that you return your belt to me, the belt that you made so that I could present you with a belt for you to wear as my apprentice. I hereby release you from our agreement, and I declare that you are a master geometer in my eyes.
Archie, would you mind calling in the order?
Their Majesties call before them their companions to the Order of the Laurel.
So our third question, I believe we were going to allow some help as a group question. And so before we hear the answer to that, I think I'd like to see the work done by the rest of the group. Is there a member of the Order of the Chivalry that will speak to the third question?
I, Duke Edward Grey of Lochleven, would speak for Rosina. Greetings, your Imperial Consuls. Through the many years which I've known Rosina within the Society, a few things have stood out to me. First would be her eagerness to help your populace as she might, whether helping newcomers, providing heraldic advice, serving as an MOL, or as your jungler herald for many years, so all may know who strive in your crown tournament. Secondly, yet vitally important, a vital companion to the first has been her restraint to consider how her words might be most beneficial to those recipients. But most relevant to today's proceedings has been her persistent and methodical approach to the area of period mathematics. As a member of your chivalry, a clear truth of my order, and I must believe of all peerage orders, is that mindful practice and repetition provide the necessary fertile soil from which excellence grows. And Rosina has spent many years striving for and coming to terms with this truth. I have watched as she, time and again, reviewed the letters, manuals, and diagrams of the past, played out their patterns in fiber, numbers, and abstract thought, shared and debated her findings within the larger society, and through that mindful repetition of doing, contemplating, refinement, and continued execution, she's arrived at an understanding of what was known at the time and developed a period context in which to nurture that understanding. Great Consuls, I and my order must walk this path and ask that you recognize the Lady upon it as our peer. So say I, Edward Grey.
Is there a member of the Order of the Pelican who will speak for her?
Greetings to your Royal Majesties, your Royal Highnesses, and to all those assembled. My name is Jamilia Al-Tsuba Al-Khadid min Bikail Al-Sheikha Al-Mu'alima, known to most simply as Suba. I am a companion of the Order of the Pelican, and I have the incredible honor of speaking for Rosina von Schaffhausen. Because the Order of the Pelican is an order based on service, I am here to speak of how Rosina has served. Therefore, it is perhaps unsurprising that there is a lot of service that she has done of which to speak. Rosina has been Jongler Herald, in charge of shield trees, since spring of 2015, which is how I know her and her work. We work together very closely, including traveling to Canada twice. So this means frequent periods of mad scramble. In that sort of environment, working with Rosina is a particular joy because on and off the job, she is cheerful and willing to help. She makes the work lighter and easier, both by her demeanor and her skill. Anyone who knows Rosina knows that she generally does not boast about her service. She simply digs in and serves, then looks for the next opportunity to serve. In my opinion, this is the best kind of service and the best reason for service. It is done for the joy of the work and the joy of making the whole event successful. Rosina is easy to overlook because she is just always there and always easy to work with. I agree with those who say that companions of the Order of the Pelican are not created, only recognized. Therefore, for her service that I have named, and for any and all of her service that I have failed to name, Rosina is and has been and will continue to be worthy of this honor. I am overjoyed that your Majesties have chosen to elevate Rosina, and I sincerely thank you for this opportunity to speak for her.
A vital service and a real window into the dedication to our society and our kingdom. Thank you for those words. Is there a member of the Order of the Rose that would speak for this candidate?
I am Duchess Eric's daughter, and I am here to speak on behalf of the Companions of the Order of the Rose. And one of the things that we look for in candidates is inspiration. And often that does mean encouraging others to do exactly whatever you are studying. And I certainly hope that that is the case. Yay, science. But what Rosina shows us is that you do not have to be a mathematics scholar to use math as our medieval forebears did. She reveals to us the underpinnings, of what we already do, thereby improving all of our endeavors. Mathematics is essential to many of our activities, certainly weaving, but the making of garb, glass blowing, fencing, medicine, yes, exchequering. The using of math, I would say, is actually a hallmark of civilization as much as any of the other virtues that we speak to in these ceremonies. Math also connects us to historical activities the way that baking bread in an earthen oven does. It is the same math, the same methods, and the same results. Rosina has illuminated medieval learnings that we still use today. She gives us a deeper understanding of what we do and how we do it, and why we do it that way. She brings that valuable gift to our kingdom, and I am inspired by the work that has brought her before you this day. I thank you, Your Majesties.
Thank you for your words, Your Grace. Those speak very highly of the candidate. Is there someone from the Master of the Order of Defense who will speak for her?
I am Mistress Alice McIntosh, Companion of the Pelican, Companion of the Laurel, Master of Defense, and 11th Tiger of the East by the wrath of God if I am anything. And it is my job to speak as for the Order of Defense on behalf of Rosina. The remit of the Order of Defense is to speak as to the virtues of perseverance and fortitude of the candidate. And Rosina has shown these virtues in spades. Rosina has chosen a path to the peerage which is more difficult than when one simply makes objects. She has chosen to pursue a laurel in the field of ideas, in the field of numbers. To pursue such a thing requires great perseverance, for it is not something that can easily be shown in pictures or put in an arts and sciences display and examined carefully. You cannot check the seams on a math problem. To have such perseverance, one must first love the thing one does deeply and profoundly. And it is clear from watching Rosina as she interacts with all the things she does in the SCA that she loves the society, its virtues, and its people deeply and profoundly. I came to know Rosina primarily through the area of heraldry, where her love and dedication is apparent in the time she spends taking care of the shield trees, as others have already described, that submissions are properly handled and that questions are followed up. In all things, she has proven herself to be someone who embodies persistence, perseverance, and the great Eastern virtue of never giving up in the face of adversity. She is in all ways and all deeds a peer of this realm, and I commend her to your majesties most heartily.
Strong words, well spoken. Is there a member of the Order of the Laurel that would speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties and good gentles assembled, I am Magnus Walmagi, and it is my distinct pleasure to speak today for Rosina, for the Laurel. My first encounter with Rosina was several years ago, I believe, at a Crown's A&S. What I remember was being very excited to meet this joyous geek who was going to be presenting on Fibonacci numbers. That really excited me, because when you're in a niche or technical or esoteric research field in the A&S community, it can be a little lonesome. Not that many people have the knowledge base necessarily to really connect and engage with your work, and so it can feel like you're alone. And so when I heard about Rosina and her embrace of math right next door to scribes and other fine artists, I was really excited to meet this person. And what I found was somebody who really had a passion for her technical field, and so good. That's such an important part of being a Laurel. Inspirational leadership turns on inspiration, and if you can present who you are and your passions, you can reach out to someone else who may be similarly minded but not feel like they have a community, and help build that community piece by piece. The other half of that is the leadership component. Rosina struggled a little bit to be understood, as so many of us do. And so many artisans will fall into the pattern of just continuing on and the same path they've been on, even if people aren't necessarily understanding them. But Rosina didn't do that. She saw that people were having some trouble and she changed direction. She helped translate her passion into a language that other artisans not familiar with her field could understand. And she did that while still being true to herself, still presenting that same math geek, but in a way that other people could understand. And that is a profound act of leadership, and that is why Rosina is here today, because she understands how to enrich people with her art and how to translate her passions such that everybody might benefit from it and that we can make more and better nerds. Your Majesties, I commend her to you highly.
Thank you, Magnus, for those wonderful and inspiring and creative words. Now, we've heard all the speakers, and now we would like to hear the answer to the third question we had presented to you.
After hearing the advice and of the peers and the populace of the East, I assent to this elevation.
Excellent. I believe as we begin adorning you in the trappings of your new station, adding regalia upon regalia, we are going to start with the gown that I believe you are currently wearing.
Excellent. Very well done. Is there a medallion?
Is there a cloak for the candidate?
Fantastic. Is there a mask?
Excellent. Is there a wreath?
And are there ponies?
I believe we have reached the sum total of everything that is to be added as you have reached your new station. We would hear your oath.
From this hour henceforth, I, Rosina von Schaffhausen, will be faithful to the people of the Kingdom of the East and you as its crowns, by true faith, without mischievous intent, as a person should be to her lord or lady, and without any will to deceive.
I, Alberic,
And I, Tindal,
hear your words and know them to be true and honorable.
we trust in your logical counsel, your steady mind, and the beauty that you bring to the East Kingdom. And for our part, you have a place at our hearth. You have our ear for your advice. You have our protection in times of peace as well as war.
Until the crowns pass from our heads or the world ends, so we say I, Albert von Rostock.
And I, Magnus Tindal,
Consules East.
All nobles, gentles, and populace present and hearing and saying, Tindal and Alberic, otherwise called Consules of the Eastern Kingdom, sendeth humble and due recommendation as it pertaineth for so much as the craft, research, reflection, translation, and teaching of numbers and works for our distant ancestor, Anna Nepper, do we call Rosina von Schaffhausen before our presence. Her work over many years in furthering the knowledge of our populace shall move us with grace to attain unto honor the foresaid Rosina, laudable, derisive, and deserve and induct her into our venerable order of the laurel. And so she might boldly and vowable occupy, challenge, and enjoy forevermore, without prejudice or rebuke of any estate or gentle of this realm, taking respect and consideration into the good and disposition of the foresaid Rosina, have devised and granted arms by letter patent, namely azure, a pile inverted, bendwise purpur, fimbriated or. Further do we of our said power and authority have appointed and granted to and for the said Rosina to enjoy without prejudice or impeachment all rights, honors, and trappings of the Order of the Laurel, and witness to these present have settled our seal of arm with our sigil manual. Words by Matthias Grunwald, calligraphy and illumination by Kaylee McWhite. For Mistress Rosina, newest companion to the Order of the Laurel. Vivat!
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 Yay! Bravo!
Hey, Rosina.
Their Majesties would see before them Celadon, Inyan, Mick, and Meta to answer the question posed before her.
Way! Way! Make way! For the devoted Baroness, Celadon Inyan Meganwade, from the barony of Les Dragons Dormants and the beautiful principality of Tirmara. This gentle is a member of the Order of the Manche, a senior member of the Guild of Athena's Thimble, a member of Squamifer's Fortune, a member of l'Ordre du Pèlerin, a member of the Order of the Silver Crescent, a recipient of a King's Cipher and the Award of Esteem from their Royal Majesties Brian and Anna. Celadon was also made Court Baroness by their Royal Majesties Ivan and Mathilde. For her service, given while serving 3 times as Terramara's Arts and Sciences Champion. For her service as the guild founder of the Royal Gifts Chest, who made and distributed over 2,000 gifts to their Royal Majesties. For her service as a multi-level officer, including current East Kingdom Chatelaine. Last November, Celadon received a writ to become a member of the Order of the Pelican.
So we sent you away, and you found a way to come back to us.
Yes.
Yes.
We would like to hear your answer.
Yes, I would like to join the order.
Audrey, if you will.
Their Majesties call before them their Order of the Pelican.
Having heard the order, we have a mind to add to your number today. But first, we would hear others speak about the worthiness of this candidate. Is there a member of the Order of Chivalry that has words?
There is, Your Majesties. I, Edward Grey, have that privilege. I have known her first as a ward to Godfrey and Alisay, then recall as she proudly introduced her family to the royal court in Festiglas. She then stood as tomorrow's ANS champion for 3 proud kings. From this introduction, I have witnessed as Celadon took on a voyage of exploration, an exploration of our kingdom, its people, culture, ways, and traditions, as she sought for her. As a knight, I see Celadon as a woman upon the path. As she was finding her place, it was always with an eye towards how could she contribute? What could she bring to the table? And when it wasn't literally bringing food to the table, it was gifts to the toy box, it was tokens for newcomers, hospitality for the traveler, helping the local baronies and shires host events and welcome the kingdom. Consules, as a person who once held her troth, I will say that you will not find a more loyal servant than you do in Celadon. She has served her liege lord and lady, baron, baroness, friends, family, and the wider kingdom faithfully for many years. Nor will you find a more determined subject, as I have witnessed her roll up her sleeves to step between two embattled armored knights when she felt she needed to set the record straight. On behalf of your chivalry, I would request that you invite this lady home among your peers in this East Kingdom. So say I, Edward Grey of Loch Lomond.
Thank you, Your Grace. Those are very wonderful words of the candidate. Is there someone from the Order of the Laurel who would like to speak for this candidate?
I am Tiberius Julius Rufus Primus, and I would have that honor. S'il vous plaît, pardonnez-moi, mon français est mauvais et les mots sont difficiles à trouver. Je connais Celadon depuis de nombreuses années. J'ai d'abord rencontré une femme enthousiaste, serviable et gentille qui voulait pratiquer son anglais avec moi. Elle est bravement s'ouverte de mon mauvaise langue française. Je m'étais fait une amie précieuse ce jour-là et je suis toujours plus riche de le connaître. J'ai connu Celadon à plusieurs reprises dans de nombreux endroits à cause des années précédentes. Elle peut souvent être trouvée dans tout le royaume. Sa gamme est grande, mais pas aussi grande que son du service et du comportement. Les gens parlaient souvent de ses compétences en maître de nourriture et de son service magnanimeux à cet égard. L'on parle d'elle-même. Je suis très impressionné par la façon dont elle mène son travail. Elle travaille avec diligence et études minutieuses. Une personne n'étant pas ce niveau de service savoir comment voir le travail, faire un plan, trouver des amis pour l'aider, réviser le plan et faire avancer les choses. Cela est évident. Ce qui n'est pas si clair, c'est qu'elle fait son travail avec amour. La nourriture, les fibres, là où les services pour Celadon sont faits par amour. Regardez-la pendant qu'elle fait ces choses. Elle aime ce qu'elle fait. Elle le fait avec patience et grâce. Elle le fait avec calme. Elle apprend aussi aux autres à aimer. Celadon est le genre de personne que je veux que tout le monde rencontre. Celadon est le tante que je veux que chaque nouveau venu ait. Celadon est mon père. Je vous le recommande. Thank you.
Eloquently and romantically spoken.
My French is horrible. Très mauvais. Désolé.
No, très bon.
Impressive as always, regardless of how you assess yourself. Is there a member of the Order of the Rose that would speak?
Great Council, I am Duchess Anna Ophelia Holloway Tarragon, and it is my great honor to speak as a rose for this lady today. This lovely lady has a smile that will light up a room when she enters it. She will go out of her way to make others feel welcome, and not just by her words, but also by her actions. Her actions are always welcoming, supportive, kind, and inclusive. She will do anything she can to make anyone and everyone feel welcome, included, and loved. She always thinks first of a newcomer, a friend, her barony, or her kingdom. She will look for where assistance needs to be done, where work needs to happen, and then she will take on the project on her own without being asked. And she will do this with a joy and a gratefulness in her heart that makes everyone around her want to help and participate, be it making toys for the kingdom, making largesse for the royals, filling an office, or cleaning up after a feast. She brings such joy to the duty that you just want to join her because she is having so much fun doing it. I have watched this lady face challenges that have been before her, and she has done so with dignity, with grace, and with courtesy. Above anything else, she is courteous and kind to everyone. Consul of the East, it is my honor and my privilege to have you induct her into this order today. She is well worthy and definitely my peer. I am delighted that this is happening. Good job. Yay!
Very eloquently spoken, Your Grace. Thank you for those words. They could not be any truer from any person that has spoken about Caladan. Is there someone from the Order of Master's Defense who will speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties, I am Mercedes Vera de Calafia, and I speak for the Order of Defense. We speak to the virtue of perseverance. All you know about this candidate is her vast history of service to the East and the society. You know she has done the work of a pelican. Steady, loyal, dependable work. Work that is both breadth and depth, whether she is making largesse or serving as kingdom chatelaine. Service alone does not make a peer. During these hard times, kingdom officers have had to reinvent everything they do, and she does this on an elevated level, while living and working in a region of the kingdom that has different laws, culture, and language. She has persevered until we caught on to her worthiness. She has navigated the East with an open heart and generous spirit, and it is my privilege to recommend her to your Majesties.
Well spoken. Is there a member of the Order of the Pelican that would speak in support of this candidate?
Caladan is a lady of epic renown. To know her is to know the essence of service. Homer could have spoken directly of her service when he penned the line, like the star of the waning summer who beyond all stars rise bathed in an ocean stream to glitter in brilliance. Her service shines as chatelaine, as teacher, as coordinator and colleague. Her service is steadfast, as Julius Caesar spoke of when he said, constant as the North Star, of whose fixed and resting quality there is no fellow. Look north, and that shining star you see is the beacon of her service. So great counsels not only does Homer and Caesar, and I recommend her, but the very heavens themselves cry out for her elevation.
They have heard the words of the orders, and they have spoken well and truly of you. It is now time to adorn you with the trappings of a pelican. Is there a medallion?
Oui. Yes. 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 Oui. Oui.
Is there a legacy to the medallion?
Miss Margaret made it for me in glass fusion, and it's her first medallion that she did, and she did it for me.
It looks fantastic. It suits you well.
Thank you.
Is there a coat?
Coat.
No, it's warm.
Shady pink.
The coat looks really warm. I hope you're in a spot where there's fans on you. It looks beautiful. Is there a hood?
It's done by a lady from our barony, Lady Emma.
Yay!
Very nice.
Thank you.
Is there a cap?
Mm-hmm. Push, push, yeah, push, 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 push. So the artist for the hat.
Fully adorned in the trappings of your new station, we would have your oath.
I, Celadon, swear by heaven and earth, and the sun and the moon, by the dew and the element, by the sea and the land, that I shall keep faith in you and serve you, my kingdom and its people, the society, with the best of my abilities, and continue doing things that need to be done.
I, Albert von Rostock, hear your words and know them to be true and honorable.
And I, Magnus Tindal, look forward to seeing you again and knowing that you continue to serve and make our kingdom better. And for our part, we offer you our ear for your counsel and the protection of our hearth in any time, in any place.
Until the crowns pass from our heads or the world ends, so say I, Alberic.
And I, Tindal.
Consules East.
Come forth, noble and good gentles of the East. Hear the words of your beloved consuls, Alberic and Tindal. Celadon, our faithful and worthy subject, has performed extraordinary service on behalf of our realm. In the numerous years of caring presence, she has made numerous sacrifices for the betterment of the kingdom. Giving time and efforts of the East Kingdom chatelaine, welcoming and greeting newcomers from faraway lands. She has also spent countless hours preparing and serving fabulous feasts. A craftswoman with nimble fingers, she has shared her knowledge and her wisdom for the joy and benefit of her many students. Her generosity and deeds are so plentiful that it would take days to tell them all. She is a model and an inspiration to us all. Thus, in accordance with the many voices praising her worth, and after consulting the companions of the order, it is our sovereign will to elevate her to the rank of Mistress of the Pelican, granting her the privileges and charging her with the responsibilities of a peer of the realm. Further, do we bestow upon her the sole right throughout the known world to these arms by letters patent, to wit, azure a talbot passant, and on a chief argent a key azure. This being our will, which all must recognize and respect, decreed on the 56th year of our society. For Celadon, newest companion to the Order of the Pelican, Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Vivat!
Their Majesties would call before them Nastasia Ivanova Medvedeva.
Your Majesty, it is my pleasure to present to you a warrior of the East, a scholar of the East, and a servant of the East. She is your Lieutenant General of Combat Archery. She is her Seneschal. She's a companion of the Order of the Manche, a companion of the Order of the Silver Crescent, companion of the Order of the Silver Mantle, a Baroness of the Court of Brian III and Anna III, holder of the King's Cipher of Brian II, holder of the Queen's Honor of Distinction of Catherine. She is Nastasia Ivanova Medvedeva, your humble servant, here to answer the question before her.
Your Excellencies.
Good afternoon. It is a lovely, bright, sunny day, which is a stark contrast to the dark evening when we began this journey and sent you away to contemplate joining an order. Perhaps we should be joined by that order before we receive the answer? I believe we should.
Their Majesties request the presence of their companions of the Order of the Laurel.
Companions of the Order of the Laurel, would you please join us in court?
Is there a member of the Order of Chivalry that would speak on behalf of this candidate?
Your Majesties, I am Duke Brian Anthony Uriel Tarragon, and it is my privilege and pleasure to be able to speak this day for Tasha. I've known this lady for many, many years in many different capacities. She is very, very worthy of this recognition, in my opinion. But I would speak on behalf of the chivalry because of the combative and ways this lady displays prowess that assists our kingdom and assists the people of our kingdom choosing to pursue these arts, because the arts extend beyond just those of paper and pen and sewing and the many wonderful things that we do in this kingdom. There's also the arts of combat, and she has shown herself to be a proud and a very active individual with this regard with our combat archers. I would commend to you her ability to be valorous and chivalrous, and wish her the best in terms of this recognition which she very much deserves.
Thank you, Your Grace.
Thank you, Your Grace. Those words of encouragement to hear of her exploits is much appreciated. Is there someone from the Order of the Pelican who will speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties, I am Eleanor Fitzpatrick, Companion of the Pelican, and I would have that honor. This lady and I grew up together in the society, in a household dedicated to service. No matter what our other passions were, whether it be equestrian, art, combat, archery, the core of our household always seemed to be service. This lady exemplifies that. She serves as naturally as she breathes. As soon as she learns a new skill, she turns to share it. And that is a pelican. To give of yourself to better everyone around you, that is the essence of a peer. And this lady embodies that. I commend her to you, and I am so very pleased to see you in this position. My sister.
Love you.
Love you too.
Well-spoken, powerful words of support. Is there a member of the Order of the Rose that would speak for this candidate?
There is, Your Majesties. I'm speaking on behalf of Countess Marguerite, who could not be here today. These are her words. I bear the words of Countess Marguerite Ingen Lachlan, who will speak for the Order of the Rose. Great councils, honored peers, and beloved members of the populace, I have always been impressed with the strength and resilience of Natasya Ivanovna Medvedeva. She inspires me. She is, in all senses, a weaver. Her art, obviously, but also she is able to see the threads that tie us all together. The yellow of learning, the red of passion, the dark colors of loss, the bright, beloved threads of fellowship and hope. When you ask her if she will make you trim, you may discover she has given you her friendship too. Her attention to these threads is always at the service of our society, as a researcher, in the seneschalate, or on the battlefield. Councils of the East, people of the East, I commend Tasha to you. I am honored that she is my friend, and that we are now formally recognizing her as the peer she has been for a long time. And for myself, Tasha, one of the qualities that I admire most is generosity. And you have always been very generous with your time, with your expertise. And these are qualities that I, as a Lady of the Rose, find very admirable. And I am so glad that you're being recognized today.
Thank you so much, Your Grace.
Thank you, Your Grace. Those are great words that you have conveyed from Her Excellency. Those are well spoken. Is there someone from the Master of the Order of Defense to speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties, I am Maréchal Remy de la Montagne de Gascon, member of the Order of Defense. My apologies for not being able to be there in person with you all. However, I am thrilled to have the honor of speaking in favor of Tasha. I want to speak of Tasha outside of the SCA for a moment, but I promise it'll make sense in the end. I first connected with Tasha through our mutual love for fitness, sharing our favorite exercises, strategies, and other shop talk. We eventually had a chance to work out together. We were nearing the end of our legs routine when I had the brilliant idea of having us do some walk-in lunges, an exercise which can be incredibly taxing when you're feeling fresh, but especially challenging at the end of a long workout. She struggled with it, as people often do at first, so I asked if she wanted to do a different exercise instead. Something a little less challenging and something, maybe a little easier. My lord, the look of daggers Tasha sent my way for suggesting we take an easier route. And she struggled with the exercise. Every ep in each set was a trudge, but she did her best. She battled. She gave it her all. In the end, despite several choice words thrown in my direction, she knew she was better for the experience. Trying one's best is always worth it. Tasha brings the same energy into the SCA. She makes beautiful garments from scratch, and I mean by scratch. Sewing, weaving, leatherwork. If she can find a way of doing a piece of her project by hand, she'll do it. The amount of love, effort, and energy she's put into her craft is awe-inspiring and well known to all those who seek mastery in their own fields. She's also an amazing ambassador for the combat archery community, introducing the martial art to new and veteran fighters alike, and generally making people feel welcomed and at home. Tasha researches, she learns, and she shares. Tasha embodies the benefits of seeking out things that challenge us, things that take us out of our own comfort zones so we can expand our experiences and grow our knowledge and skill. And she approaches the challenge of her art like she approached those walking lunges at the gym, with stalwart determination and humility. Your Majesties, Tasha is strong, she is caring, and she is hella knowledgeable. And I'm thrilled to see her recognized for all those qualities in her work and elevated to the Order of the Laurel.
Is there a member of the Order of the Laurel that has words for us?
There is, dear councils, and thank you so much for letting me come as a guest and speak. I'm in my lands in Ethelmark. My dear Tasha, so a million hundred years ago when we met, I adored you and you tolerated me very, very nicely. That was lovely. And then we grew in friendship and also in our art. And I see you spread the joy of perfect, tiny stitches on a beautiful straight seam, sewn with thread that you created by your own hand. And I see the beauty in it and I love it. And you share your knowledge, not only when someone is right next to you, but also through the known world online. One of the things that gives me great, great joy is seeing somebody bumble and then another person starts to react more coarsely than they meant to. And you step in and bring peace. And also, as you're bringing the peace, you're bringing just a little bit more art. It's a joy. It is a joy to play with you. And I cannot wait to embrace you as my sister in the Order and play string games with you again. Dearest consuls, I highly, highly recommend this lady to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your words. Having heard words of support, but before hearing an answer, it is important, Tasha, that you stand before us released from any bonds that you may hold now. So, Audrey, if you will.
The consuls of the East would invite before them Duchess Anna Ophelia Tarragon.
This is a moment that I have looked forward to and dreaded really long time. Watching you grow has been a delight. Your courage and persistence has inspired me. So at this time, my sweet, you've learned the rules, you've created your own, and it's time to release you and let you be your own person and grow even more.
Thank you for loving me and accepting me, nurturing me, trying to guide me. I said trying to guide me. I know that I can always call on you and that I'm always going to be your girl. And that makes me so happy. So, I made this belt to honor you and our relationship. So, here we go.
So, what is rule number 1?
Accessorize, accessorize, accessorize.
See, I trained you so well. But one needs a place to put one's accessories.
Okay.
Let me do this to keep all your bling in.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. This is amazing. I love it.
Okay, consuls want to see. Thank you. Very nice. Whoa.
Amazing. And I love it, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I love you. I love you. Oh. Okay.
All right.
Now that you have been released, we would like to hear your answer.
Your Majesties, I'm pretty sure you knew what I was going to say back when you gave me the writ, but for the record, yes please. I would be thrilled and honored to become a member of the Order of the Laurel.
We are very glad that you said that. Thank you.
That is the answer I was hoping for. Our Order of the Laurel becomes stronger today. Is there a medallion that might mark this lady so that others might know of her skill?
Oh my goodness.
Is there a legacy to this
There's
medallion?
another one.
Looks like there's another one right here.
Excuse me?
This one you can hang from your brooches because it will go over your head. I bought that several years ago at Penzic from North Star Armory.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spagan.
Is there a shawl?
Well, a long, long time ago, you said you wanted this on your shawl. I was looking for the right time to do it.
Wow.
And I hope it meets with your approval.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. That's so awesome. Oh, I love it.
Is there a wreath?
Long time ago, I was able to give you some present.
Now, well adorned with the trappings and the regalia of a laurel, we will hear your oath.
Your Majesties, I stand here in this driveway, your faithful subject. I put a shuttle, a loom, and a needle at your feet. My bow is yours to command. I will give my advice, especially when it is difficult to do so. 3 things I promise. I will not purposely engage in an interkingdom incident without first contacting you, unless it's too funny to ignore. I will not take up arms against the Crown of the East And I especially promise not to shoot you in the face during fighting practice more than twice in each scenario. Intentionally. And for the East, for its people, I will wage war, I will create art, and I will bring joy. If I am forsworn, justice can take me. So say I, Tasha Medvedeva, Laurel of the East.
I, Alberic, hear your words and know them to be fair, true, and honorable.
I, Tindal, trust in your arrow eyes to guide us with your counsel as you guide a needle through fabric, to stand before us, making our kingdom more joyous, more beautiful, and better protected for the range of your influence. You have a place at our hearth, you have our protection in times of peace and war.
Until the crowns pass from our heads or the world ends, so say I, Albert von Rostock.
And I, Magnus Tindal,
Consules East.
Spindle drops, wool falls twisting, thread for mending, smock long worn. Candlelight shines, reflects off gold, stitches so small, no shadow cast. Hands turn warped cards, shuttle pass well, twine silk rose, band grows long. Threaded nail binds, band to smock, brooch carried beads match eyes of fire. So does our Nastasia Ivanova Medvedeva create delight. Thus do we, Consul Tindal and Consul Alberic, Eastern sovereigns, do elevate her to our Order of the Laurel, with arms by letters patent, sable, a bare sergeant erect atop a mount, and in chief 3 escarbuncles argent. Words by Maheen Banu Tabrizi, scroll by Catherine Stanhope.
People of the East, for Kanari, Tasha, Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Good evening again, East Kingdom. Apologies for technical difficulties. Let's try it again. On the eve of one of our most treasured events, the coronation of a new crown, excitement, anticipation, and eagerness for shared community are high. The coronation of Ionis and Rohonig brings the kingdom another step closer to our established traditions. And yet, we must remain diligent in our individual and collective safety measures. If you are feeling ill at all, please do not attend coronation or indeed any other event on the Scadian calendar. We wish to gather as safely as we can, and we have been through much for the ability to do so. On site, please wear your mask, and if gently reminded by event staff, respond with courtesy to immediately restore it to correct wearing, while the staff does their best to execute the mask wearing requirements of the kingdom. Thank you all for the collective effort that has brought us this far, and together we will get through the rest of this difficult period. In service, Maeve.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Those are good words to hear.
And such an important reminder. We've made such progress. Forward momentum is fantastic. Before we continue, a little over a year ago, the Chivalry of the East brought a letter to our predecessor and to us about some incidents of surcical. And Marguerite, and as well as you and I,
yes,
took action to remove her ability to wear the regalia of the chivalry. In consultation with the Order of the Rose and the Order of the Chivalry, we have worked out with Seychelles a path for her to be able to restore that regalia. She will be, as we move forward, hopefully to more in-person events, promoting and sponsoring a youth combat tournament, and at the conclusion of which she will have her regalia restored to her. Obviously, the timetable of that is contingent on the event. Yes. Now, on a happier note, I think this is the time when I would like to just really, I can't say thank you enough. The web staff, the in-person staff, the people who have, I mean, we're touring the kingdom right now. Tirmara to Carolingia to who knows where we're going next. But as we've been able to do in-person crown tournaments, we're coming back to where we had planned to step up, get to step down here in Concordia. There's so many people that have kept this machine moving. Thank you, each and every one of you.
It's so much very appreciated, because without you, there wouldn't have been an us during these times. So this is excellent. So let's continue on with our elevation journey.
Their Majesties would call before them Annalita Falconbridge to answer the question posed before her.
Good afternoon.
Annalita, it is so nice to see you on such a, what I assume is warm and sunny day. It was a dark night in a tent the last time we spoke,
where we asked you a very pertinent question. We would like to hear the answer to that.
I would be honored to join this esteemed order, and my answer is yes.
Excellent. Audrey, would you invite the order to join us?
Their Majesties call before them their companions to the Order of the Pelican.
Would you like hello?
As they flock to us, I would love to hear some words about this candidate. Is there a member of the Order of the Pelican that would speak?
Your Imperial Majesties, I, Eldreda de Tamworth, would claim that right. Gracious consuls, your excellencies, Endward, gentle friends, and people of the East. When we speak of service, we often speak of single individuals, people laboring solitary behind a curtain, creating and maintaining the structure that we all inhabit. To wit, we speak of quiet. I would venture to say that of all of the many people who have met this extraordinary woman, not very many of them would say, ah yes, quiet. And indeed, when your noble ancestors raised her to the laureate, we all thought of how often we find her singing. And I would put it to you that between those two truths is the truth and essence of the service of Annalita Falconbridge. Because when she serves, she sings. And people hear that and they say, what is happening? I will go and see. And when they come to her, she welcomes them with open hands and open arms and says, come sing with me, serve with me, and find the joy that is there. And in serving loudly and openly and inclusively, She serves this kingdom. She serves your people. She serves our society. And she makes all of our service greater and greater music when she does. Your Imperial Majesties, this is a good and right thing that you do today. Thank you.
Those were some really lovely words. I am most humbled by those, and really like to thank the Order for being able for us to do this today. I hear there are some mittens of maintenance.
There are, Your Majesty. These were made for Mistress Annaleda by our sister, our apprentice sister, Rethna. They are now vended with love and with care. Those are back there. Those are for you!
Oh, I love them. Oh, they're so nice. Oh, they're so many. It's hot. You don't have to keep them on, but
Wiggle your hands so she can see.
Those are fantastic.
Those will serve you well in the cold nights.
Her hands well maintained. Is there a medallion that may adorn?
There is, Your Majesties. This is a family heirloom, starting from Tanis of Chiradon, Tanek of Ancestor, Cara Marie of Carlisle, Oriana of Xylena, Lucy Lovegood of Ramsgate, Alana Urquhart, Sylvia Duvet, Cedric of Thanet, and myself, Otto Gottlieb. Oops.
Your Majesties, I also have a medallion for Mistress Annaleda. It comes from Solera. Oh, and she wanted to gift this to you. That's for you. Can I put that on? Well, I want you to see it.
It is gold. It is glass.
Oh,
it has been embossed
lovely.
with gold with beads that I am sure have been made by Solera.
Yes.
Who I know you know very well.
Yes.
I hope it goes over your head.
Oh my gosh.
And lastly, is there a coat?
There is, Your Majesties. So this is Mistress Annaleda's laurel cloak that I made for her, her coat. And I got to add to it for her. So.
Oh.
Can you see?
Oh my goodness. There are
Oh, lovely. That's great.
That's so perfect. Thank you. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. And it's amazing.
Fully adorned and supported with words, we would hear your voice and have your oath.
Your Majesties, I will give you my oath in one moment, if I may beg just a moment, to provide a word before of thanks and gratitude for this day, which comes, of course, Mistress Strata said that it brings a lot of people, and a lot of people have come today, and a lot of people have made sure that this day and all of the things that led to it could happen. My husband, Andre Kiboit-Dulé, has tended home and hearth for many, many years so that I could do the things that I do. And I could not do them. Our son, Jesse, has allowed a lot of time for his mother to go and do things while he might have wanted her to do other things or been coming to events. And they have both been so incredibly supportive and marvelous. My beloved households and my barony have made sure that there is always somebody else to help with the work and the joy of that work, because it is, as Mr. Strata said, never accomplished alone. And I wanted to express to you and to all of my beloveds how very grateful I am and thankful for all of the things that you do. So, thank you. That's what I have to say about that.
Thank you for sharing that with us. We know full well the team it takes to accomplish anything. And in all honesty, I'm so happy to see so many people gathered with you today. But also, it's fantastic to have all of you, everyone who's there, all of you on the East Kingdom team moving forward. It has truly been a joy to see the work done across the kingdom.
We duly appreciate the loan of your services. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to give an oath. When I was grown, I kneeled before my sovereigns and all my kinsmen, and unto them give my troth. My heart is bold, to the best I shall endeavor to defend this dream forever that has brought me to my oath.
I, Alberic von Rostock.
And I, Magnus Tindal.
Hear the lovely words and know them to be true and honorable.
With faith, we know that this kingdom is a more welcoming place with you in it and grows with your service. And for our part, you have a place at our hearth and our protection in times of peace and war. You are a treasure.
Until the crowns pass from our heads or the world ends, so say I, Alberic.
And I, Tindal.
Consules East.
Thank you, Your Majesties.
Here comes the East with banners raised. Join your voices, sing her praise. Shout to the sky in proud displays. Annalida the Pelican. Look to the throne, the eastern light. Tindal Alberic peers invite. With their decree our hearts ignite. Annalida the Pelican. Here comes the East with banners raised. Join your voices, sing her praise. Shout to the sky in proud displays. Annalida the Pelican. Look to our kin at call of need. Eastern help appears with speed. Whether to call or sing or feed. Annalida the Pelican. Here comes the East with banners raised. Join your voices, sing her praise. Shout to the sky with proud displays. Annalida the Pelican. Turn to our web's discussions loud. Moderate as time allowed. Let our dreaming fill the cloud. Annalida the Pelican. Here comes the East with banners raised. Join your voices, sing her praise. Shout to the sky with proud displays. Annalida the Pelican. Pelicans of all eastern lands, lift our kingdom by their hands. This is why she strongly stands, Annalida the Pelican. Or we can do that last verse again. Pelicans all of eastern lands lift our kingdom by their hands. This is where she clearly stands, Annalida the Pelican. Here comes the east with banners raised. Join your voices, sing her praise. Shout to the sky with proud displays. Annalida the Pelican. Annalida the Pelican. Annalida the Pelican.
Scroll by Thura Eric's Joseph. For Annalida, newest companion to the Order of the Pelican. Vivax!
Vivax! Vivax!
I love it. No. I get to. Do I get to greet my order? You get to greet your order.
Yes. Oh, please.
We already know. No, I understand.
Their Majesties would see before them Guthfrith Yearlingson.
Good afternoon. This has been an interesting journey that has gotten to us to this point where we are looking at you and ready to hear an answer to a question that our predecessor posed to you, I believe.
I'm ready with my answer, Great Consul.
We are most willing to hear it.
The answer is yes.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Excellent. Audrey, if you please call in the order.
Their Majesties call before them their Order of Defense.
So our predecessor had great words for you. Now we will hear the words of some other orders.
Is there a member of the Order of Chivalry that would speak for this candidate?
Yes, there is, Your Majesty, your consuls. I am Edward Grey and would speak for Guthruth. As you may well know, His Excellency is often a quiet and unassuming man, neither haughty nor boastful. So please allow me to embarrass him somewhat and boast. I have met him upon the armored field and rapier lists, acknowledged him as a member of your orders of Tigers combatant, witnessed his victories as Tamara's rapier champion, welcomed him as a brother to your order of the Silver Rapier, and witnessed his success at the kingdom's rapier champions. His worth and quality as a combatant in your service is certain. Yet a peer must be so much more: courteous, generous, honorable, and faithful. I have witnessed Guthruth both in public and in private moments. He is ever kind, gentle, provides for his people, speaks truth to power, and keeps not only his word, but his belief in the good that we forged here together. He has hosted my person in his home. He took up fencing to support his barony and stepped up as baron when his barony needed him. I can say it no more plainly than this: Guthruth has the franchise of a knight, and I commend him to you most humbly. So say I, Edward Grey of Lochleven.
Thank you, Your Grace. Those are very lovely words. Is there someone from the Order of Laurel who will speak for this candidate?
Mighty consuls, I have words from Mistress Camille. Mighty consuls, honored heirs, and wonderful populace of the East. I am Camille de Jardine, obviously not, companion of the Laurel, and I would speak in support and praise of Guthruth. As both a laurel and a rapier fighter, I see the art in the art of defense. Guthruth is an absolute joy to both fight against and watch fight others. The precision and thought he puts into his bouts demonstrates both a love of the game and his desire to do it well and bring beauty to the society. Guthrith is an elegant and gracious fighter who puts the same care into his fencing as he does his art. I am so pleased to call him a dear friend, and he is absolutely my peer and will be a most worthy addition to the Masters of Defence. So says Mistress Camille.
Strong, eloquent, and accurate words. Is there a member of the Order of the Pelican that would speak for this candidate?
I am Master Natalia Anastasia Evgenova, sometimes known as a Laurel, Master of Defense, and a Pelican. And it is my pleasure today to speak on behalf of Guthrith. I have known Guthrith for some time. He of the Australian lilt and the lovely wife. Guthrith is wonderfully polite, reserved, and giving. He encouraged fencing before and during his years as the Baron of Runtallen. He embraced Tiramara and served as their Baron of Runtallen for 5 years. This man does beautiful, steady, quiet, wonderful service. One such service was at a Kings and Queens fencing quite some time ago, where he brought himself to the attention of the rapier community. I saw his steely eyes and smile as he lined up against his opponent, and no one knew who he was. He served up such beautiful blade work and made sure that everyone knew that Tiramara was not to be trifled with. He did this while smiling this large grin of accomplishment. This is how Guthrith's service is. Smiling with accomplishment, with perseverance, and with charm. Your Majesties, I commend you to this candidate, and it is a good thing that you do this day.
Those are excellent things to hear about this candidate. Is there someone from the Order of the Rose who will speak for this candidate?
Majesties, it is once again my role to impersonate someone else from your realm. I bring words from Countess Marguerite Ingen-Lachlan. I am Countess Marguerite Ingen-Lachlan, and I am honoured to speak as the Rose for Guthrith for his induction into the Order of Defence. Guthrith has been courteous, chivalrous, and kind the entire time I have known him. He has a gentleness of spirit which evokes the idea of the perfect period warrior. Strong, pragmatic, skilled, and conscious of the impact of his words and his deeds on the others around him. He is clear-eyed about what courtesy means to the society, and he has never wavered in his conviction. He is as steady and loyal in his shining as is the Northern Star. Consuls of the East, people of the East, people of the society, I commend Guthrith to you. He is my peer.
Beautiful words from one of our roses. Is there a member of the Order of Defense that would speak of this candidate?
Yes, Your Majesties, there is. So, I was one of the people that found out very quickly how good Guthrith actually is at that Kings and Queens Rapier champion. He was in my pool. He and I were the two who advanced. I have an incredibly rare honor in that I get to speak for the same person for 2 separate periods. I also spoke for his Laurel. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and I can't come back to anything other than one word when I think of Guthrith. And that word is perfection. Guthrith quietly strives every single day for perfection in whatever he does. His fencing, his fighting, his time as Baron and Baroness, look at him. Look at this guy. Seriously, It takes an enormous amount of perseverance to maintain that momentum. But the thing with Guthrie isn't his own struggle to be better and better. It's the fact that whether he realizes he's doing it or not, he drags us all along with him. He grabs us by the nostrils and says, come on, we're going over here now. It's going to be great. And he makes all of us have to be better. He makes us want to be better. And that, to me, is what makes Guthrie so worthy of these honors that you're bestowing upon him today. I can't fathom the East and Runtalin and Tirmara without Guthrie, and because of all the impact he's had. He is my friend. He is my colleague. He is my brother, and more than anything, Guthrie, you are my friend. I love you, man. You deserve this. Thank you, Your Majesty.
Thank you, Master Fraser. Those are wonderful words. I believe it is time to give him the trappings of a Master of Defense.
Those that stand in the order of defense can clearly be seen from across the field, marked by their livery collar in white. Is there a collar for Guthrie? Guthrie.
Yes, there is.
You have now been marked as a member of the Order of Defense. We, Alberic, consort, charge, and command you, Guthrie, to protect always the realm of the East, and to defend, sustain, and promote the art of defense. In so charging and commanding, we cast this gauntlet before you, and challenge you to take up duty as a Master of Defense. Let the call to defend the East Kingdom never go unanswered.
Mighty Consules, I, Guthrie Burlington, swear to uphold yourselves, your heirs, and the lands we live in, and to further the art of defense in the East and in Tirmara especially. Your will commands my blade.
I, Alberic,
and I, Tindal,
hear your words and know them to be true and honorable.
We trust in your arm that from the south to the far north of our kingdom, we stand well protected and well represented. And for our part, you have a place at our hearth and our protection in times of peace, war, regardless of place or location.
Until the crowns pass from our heads or the world ends, so say I, Alberic von Rostock.
And I, Magnus Tindal,
Consuls East.
And your scroll words. If worthy men generally were not apt to contemplation and searching out of things, or if desire had not bestowed upon them the grace to be able to lift up their mind from the earth, and by searching to find out the causes thereof, and to impart to those who are willing to take any pains therein, it would come to pass that the one part of men as lord and master should bear rule, and the other part as vile slaves wrapped in perpetual darkness should suffer and lead a life unworthy of the condition of man. One such worthy man is Guthrie Burlington, known far and wide for his skill with the blade and comportment on the field, generosity with his time, and the sharing of all he has learned. Therefore, do we, Consules Alberic and Tindal, bade Guthrie to take up the collar, badge, and mantle, and enjoy without prejudice all rights, honors, and privileges of the Order of Defense. In witness to these present, we have settled our seal of arms with our ensign Manuel. Done this Anno Societatis 56 in our graceful and deadly eastern lands. Words by Matthias Grunwald, scroll by Suniva Ormstone. For Guthfrith, newest companion to the Master and Order of Defense, Vivat!
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 Vivat! All the way through in Talon.
All right.
Well, the tour de
I am so glad we were able to fit them all in with the time allotted for when we're now stepping down this coming Saturday.
and now we. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wanted a second there. Once again, it's thank you, and I guess it's the last ethereal.
we really appreciate the journey that you took with us this entire time being apart. And it is so great to see everyone as we get to come back together. So at least keep that momentum going and keep up with our standards. Thank you so much.
We spent a lot of time talking and hoping, and it was great to feel the kingdom with us, to see the efforts, to see the rewards we're reaping from that. I look forward to continuing on with the East. It's thank you all.
Have a great night.
There being no further business, herein closes the 12th and final ethereal court of their majesties, Alberic and Tindal, Consules East. Long live the kingdom of the East. Long live the crown of the East, and long live the people of the East.
We'll fix it in post. That's it.